We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liễu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Tô Sư Chế Đô Ye Ơ La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual doctrines. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de xiao ci Yuan Jie Ru Lai Zhen Shi Yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master Thichvinhhoausa, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors, Amitabha. 诸佛菩萨、精良大师、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư ở Thượng Thiên Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the 16th of May 2025. Thank you for joining our discussion of the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. I'm glad that you gave me this chance to share with you and learn more about this wonderful Dharma. We are right now on slide 1379. This section here is a long section that discusses the Xianshou school of classification of the Buddha Dharma. We talked about the 5 types of classification. Number 1, Hinayana. Number 2, beginning teaching period. Number 3, final teaching. Number 4, sudden teaching. Number 5 is perfect teaching. Okay, something like that. So he talked about Xianshou, Great Master Xianshou divided the Buddha's career into 5 different types of teachings to address the needs of specific needs of different groups of people. So, for example, Hinayana is basically very blunt. I like it. He says Hinayana, meaning it's small people with small potential, meaning the majority of Buddhists are small vehicles, like it or not. Okay. Number 2, beginning is that now from small vehicles, if you are ambitious, you move into the beginning of the big vehicle. And then the final teaching of a big vehicle. It doesn't stop there. Buddhas also have this special Dharma called sudden teaching Dharma, which is only available in Mahayana. Hinayana, they don't have it. Mahayana, the teachers, the level of teachers varies on how well they can deliver the sudden teaching. So for example, my master, he's nowhere near the level of sixth patriarch. Sixth patriarch is number one in sudden teaching, for example, to give you an idea. Okay? And so that's why the fourth level is a different kind of Dharma that's being taught to us. It's called sudden Dharma. Okay? And that's Mahayana. That's quintessential Mahayana. Buddha, when he spoke the Dharma, it's sudden teaching. But you don't understand the sudden teaching. Okay? Number 5 is perfect teaching, where he says, you got to become Buddhas. Losers, why do you settle for so much less? You got to believe in yourself. What's the matter with you? So far, so good. So that's the 5 general types of Buddhist teachings. And then he's going over the first teaching, Hinayana teaching. Now, personally, I find it interesting because he says for Hinayana teachings, it's about the mind, the affliction, those types of things. And so we first talk about some of the divisions of the dharmas that being taught in Hinayana, and they're the subset of what is being taught in Mahayana. But it's good enough because we're talking about Xianshou school, so we're talking about the subset of that, and it's very interesting to me because. And it should be to you, some of you too in the future. For example, if you learn about these afflictions, it's about how your mind functions, these stumbling blocks in your nature, why you struggle so much, why you suffer so much. So for me, it's kind of interesting because it gives me the details on how actually your mind navigates through these different types of obstructions, struggles, number 1. Number 2, that's, okay, because the Buddha's wisdom is so incredible, it's so precise. He said, your mind is stuck in this type of state. Okay, it's called, for example, wrath. Okay? And there's a different from resentment, for example. Okay, different from jealousy. Those are different kinds of things that get you in trouble. Okay, so think about it. I hope in the future, okay, you can use the Buddha's wisdom to benefit the world. How is it possible? We are in the era of AI. Okay, how about maybe an AI researcher would learn about these things and program it, do the queries or set it up so that we can help the research, the neural research, the research of the mind, advance the field of, let's say, psychology or psychotherapy or even drugs research. It's just incredible venues that incredible tangents you could go to and advance human knowledge. And that's based on the most precise description of how our mind operates and where it gets stuck. Yeah, cool. So that's of interest to me, and of course for me personally, when I learn more, I don't think I'm smart enough to understand everything, but I will pick up an idea here and there because it's so he's stuck in there, she's stuck there, and so forth. So it helps me understand better how to guide you through your obstructions. So that's why it sounds tedious, appears to be tedious, but let me assure you, it's very useful down the road. Okay? Okay, and who knows, you may listen to this and then you go home and you talk to your husband and you say, oh, so he's stuck in this state of mind, that kind of thing. Yeah. All right? And you'll be able to be more sympathetic to why your husband behaves a certain way. Why he's so jealous, that kind of thing. Okay? All right, and so right now, 1379, he says, we just discussed the 10 Dharma universally interactive with all minds. Okay, so the minds have all these 10 different states. So it's mental Dharma, the great ground, the mind ground. And so all the minds have these states, these 10 states. So far, so good. And 1380, and in particular, there's of the 10 there's something victorious understanding, which is number 9. Okay, and Master Hsien-Hua explains to us, 1370, victorious understanding is to be able to understand that was never heard, explained before, able to lecture it themselves, explain the next Rupa Dharma, okay, so he says, maybe later he will say that this is not wisdom, but it's actually superior understanding. But actually, the Chinese word is victorious understanding. Okay, excuse me, I'm causing problems for you here. Sheng here is superior. Okay, and so this is something that kind of our society values. That when you go to school, you develop your knowledge, your experience. Now you have a sheng jie, meaning you're able to synthesize more and understand more than the others. Okay, but it's not really wisdom. It's basically synthesis, if you will. This is what intellectuals go through. It's not wisdom at all. So far, so good. Okay, so it actually superior. Society prizes that, okay, and you get rewarded for it, okay. You find I submitted to you, I suggested to you, maybe you in AI research, you can start building an AI agent that will help you understand, do better research on psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, and so forth, okay. And so that's from victorious understanding. Okay? So far, so good? There's no need to try to understand everything, okay? If whatever clicks, that's fine, okay? It's a lot more than we care to understand until you become a Buddha, okay? That common people don't exist, so you have better, your understanding deeper and higher than the average person. And the 10th one is concentration. Okay, and that's what you are being trained to develop, the ability to concentrate. And that's what makes you a superior person. This is more than just victorious understanding. The concentration here brings you into elevate your status. If you're currently at this samadhi level and help you develop it, then you go to the next samadhi level, makes you a superior person. You have more wisdom than before, and more, and more, and more. Okay? And eventually it will manifest in your life. Okay, whatever interests you, whether it's arts, whether it's music, whether it's science, whether it's programming, whether it's research, it will manifest because of your superior ability to concentrate. And that's why We make no excuses about it. I've been very consistent throughout my teaching career the last 20 years. I always said that my primary reason for to teach you Chan, okay, is to build your samadhi. It has to be higher and higher and higher. Don't stop. Okay? Because when you have higher level of samadhi, naturally, because of the way we develop it for you, okay, we speak Dharma for you, so that even though most of the thing I tell you, I explained to you the last 20 years, you don't get it. But when your samadhi level is higher, all of a sudden, whatever you remember in the past, clicks. I give you this big mass here, okay? Vast knowledge, because there's so many of you at different levels, from low to high level. So my lecture, my talks, has to address all of you, otherwise you drop out. And you feel free to drop out because it's not for you anymore. You lost interest and you will do whatever. That's your personal choice. But still the same. The Dharma is still for the whole wide spectrum of people. Okay? So the mere fact you spend so much time planting the seeds for you, okay, for all that knowledge, even though it doesn't make sense for you right now, but because your level of concentration is below here, so it doesn't click yet. But once you get up there, and naturally, this will make sense to you. And that's called wisdom. Wisdom because you don't need to use your thinking mind. You naturally understand. Just like that. Okay? You meditate and just, he's that kind of person. She's that kind of person. Naturally. And that's what makes you superior. So, therefore, what do we teach you? Cross your legs every day. You are a superior problem solver. Every single day, you are better and getting better and better at solving your problems. Whether it's at home, whether it's at work, it's all the same. If you are interested, you have a need, you'll be able to do better. Okay? And that's your contribution to society. Whether they reward you or not, doesn't matter. We contribute. We contribute 1,000 things. Maybe we get noticed one thing. That's life. Since when do we care for rewards? If you care for rewards, then you're attached to this level of rewards. Got that? You will care for recognition because why don't you recognize me? I'm important. Then you're stuck at this level. Same thing. That's why the Chan I'm teaching you is a markless Chan. We're not attached to anything. Look at this temple. It's ugly. It's nothing for you to attach to. That's why you're superior. In the future, we'll adorn it. We have more statues. You make it look like more a temple. It's because we're running out of people who have blessings to keep up with us. Then we have to bring in the next level of people who need externals. Like statues, like images, like relics. Does any Chan master have any relics in the temples that they use to do their work? After they die, then they give you some relics, maybe. Okay? I don't want you to be attached to anything. Enjoy it, yes. But don't seek it. Okay, and then 1381, Master Hsien-Hua says, we do explanation. This is Chinese style. They do a draw. They draw a thing. I think they did it at the city of 10,000 Buddhas. And they draw names, and I was brought up there to speak Dharma and so forth. I was frightened to death. Okay, can you, when you have zero samadhi level and down there as a bunch of hungry nuns looking at you like you some sort of animal. He looks nice, but he's so stupid, that kind of thing. They're so damn judgmental, excuse my language, that it's terrifying. Okay? And there's no need for that. You will be trained gradually how to speak Dharma when the time comes. I will train you. Okay, and so because I went through those Chinese style of drawing things and making them speak Dharma and so forth. Okay, I never cared for it, so that's why we don't do it. Okay, and he gives a reference. What we're giving you here, in what Master Hsien-Hua chose to discuss here, is from the Hinayana perspective. But for Mahayana, you have a reference called the Shastra to the door of understanding 100 dharmas. Okay, and he says, a very good tip here. He says, if you are forced to speak Dharma, you may want to speak about things that interest you. Make it a personal experience for you. So pick one of these things from here and look into it and talk about it and see how it applies to you. Okay? And then he also goes into, I can tell who he's talking about. Maybe I know the last one that he talked about is that he had a disciple who is kind of greedy for recognition from him, from others, like he's special and pure. So he copied the Chinese Buddhists, Chinese monks. He said, I want to make a vow not to touch money. Monks and nuns are not supposed to touch money anyway in the first place, but the Chinese have the special thing where I'm purer than that. I absolutely refuse to touch money. In the Vinaya, you are not supposed to touch money. However, the case is because money is impure. So we purify it for you before we give it to you. So therefore, the money we give you is pure. That's why you can use it. But that's what we do naturally in our temples. Other temples don't do that, including Master Hsien-Hua's temples. So that's why in a typical Buddhist temple, like in Taiwan, I learned that you have to give money to a chuka, a guest prefect master who then does this dharma before he distributes the money to you. So when you touch that money, it's pure. You're not breaking precepts. If the money is not processed appropriately, okay, then like at my master's temple, then every time you touch it, can I tell you the truth? You'll be going to the hells. Oops. Okay? Yes, in the back.
Master, that Dharma only apply for the left home person, or does it also apply for lay life like us as well?
It doesn't apply to low life. I mean lay people. Excuse me, it's a slip of the tongue. Okay? Only left home people. It doesn't apply to novices. Novices don't have that problem. Bhikshus and bhikshunis cannot touch money. Okay? And so this guy here, there's a guy there, and actually he's pretty senior. when he got in and he saw that thing, and he says this is just my interpretation. He saw how the Chinese revere purity, and that's what Master Hsuan offered. So he says, I'm going to hold the precept of not touching money. So Master Hsuan is referring that, because I know this guy. Master Hsuan basically is telling him, this is so Master Hsuan. He says, you make the precept, you announce you don't touch money, you hold that precept. But then you modify modern style, okay? What is modern style? Okay. He says, you advertise it. Precepts are something you're supposed to do. You don't need to tell people, I'm holding the precept against money. You advertise, hey, oh, by the way, Master is not holding money, so please don't give it to me. Put it here and stack up the red envelopes, and then someone will collect it, that kind of thing. So he's sort of advertising people about his purity, because he's pure to the point where he would not touch money and crap like that. And that's why when you practice, you have to be true. You know, the funny thing is, this guy here in particular, I know this particular guy, one guy he's referring to, he still fakes it after all these years. There's some people who are like that. The Master says, be true. Don't need to seek and scam people and pretend to be pure and so forth. He still does. Especially after Master Hsuan died, and he's a senior member. So, okay, and I see it. I see it. This is the mistake you make, and Master Hsuan tried to correct it for him. Without this foundation, the foundation of seeking for recognition, which is natural for all of us. Okay, so starting out, it's important for you not to seek for someone to recognize you as a superior person. Okay, how does that work? You don't think yourself superior. That's why I keep on telling you, you're an idiot. You're not that special. Your level is too low. You want me to stress it for you? You're an idiot. Okay? Work on improving your wisdom. As long as you think you're special, you have no wisdom. If you think you walk around and say, I'm enlightened, my sister's enlightened, meaning that since I'm the brother, I most likely am enlightened too, but I'm so humble, I don't want to tell you I'm enlightened. So my sister's enlightened. Seriously? Your sister's enlightened, she should slap you in the face and say, don't ever tell people I'm enlightened. You hear, boy? Okay? This is very important. If you allow these little things to sneak in, your attachment, okay? I know many of you, especially I go to Korea, many of you are attached to relics. You go, because the temples, you have 10 relics and you can build a golden stupa for relics, okay? Okay, because it helps lay people. But don't do it for yourself. That's why all these things will trip you. So anyway, so Master Hsuan, this is what I learned from Master Hsuan. He doesn't mind, because back then, he told this guy already, these people already, okay, watch out. You're trying to impress people with your purity for not holding money, okay? Because money is dirty. Yes, it's true. But you're scamming them. Okay? And once he did this, and the idiot refuses and still sneaks around and tries to impress people, it's no longer Master Thichvinhhoausa's fault. All right, number 2. 10 dharmas interacted with wholesome minds. Okay, this is about when we talk about good people. Okay, these are the characteristics for you to decide someone is good. Okay, these are characteristics you find for yourself. For example, might be useful to you. You look for, let's say, a husband. You want a good man for a husband, don't you, girls? Huh? These are criteria. Isn't that cool? You look for employees, and you want to trust them. Okay, trustworthy employees. Look for how many of these are hits. They qualify for this. I look for disciples. I look for good disciples. So I look at you and I say, so you have 2 out of 10. Wow, that's a good start. Okay, and let's see if you go to 3 next 6 months or not, or 4 or 5. And when you level off, I say, how much longer before you have to go? So these are the tips right here. You don't say good people. Good people has characteristics of goodness. Isn't that cool? So what are the characteristics? Faith, vigor, renunciation, shame, remorse, absence of greed, absence of anger, non-harming, light ease, and non-laxness. These are superior people that you want to draw near. Okay? I give you an example. When I see you chase after the old abbot for relics, I don't like those people. I look at this, what do you have? You're not a good person because you are so greedy. Oops, I just lost a bunch of disciples. Don't think I know. I notice all these things, but I don't say anything. So you may want to use this list to choose who you hang out with, who you want to choose as friend, as teachers, as confidant, as bookkeeper, accountant, attorney. We go into details. They're good because you cultivate. Cultivate here is cultivation is an Asian concept. Cultivation, you're producing something that's good, that's beneficial. That's why we cultivate, like we cultivate crops, cultivate rice. Okay, we roll rice, and you bring it to accomplishment. The first one is faith. Okay, Sanskrit or whatever. I don't care for Sanskrit. You need to believe that the principal methods of cultivation you have accomplished, that faith needs to be solid. Okay, faith. This is kind of childish definition. Maybe it's for Hinayana people. Okay, faith here is the most important thing for goodness. Think about it. Okay, you want to be gooder. It means that your faith is deeper. Just remember that. Eventually, when you see people who are not good, and they're troublemakers, you see that, you will see that they lack in faith, the faith. Actually not less, they actually begin to decline. Okay? Very insightful to me. Number 2, vigor. Vigor is you are relentless. Okay? You do more and more and more and more and more. And that's cultivation. That's goodness. Because when you do more with what we do, what we teach you, you're becoming gooder. You cannot become gooder unless you are vigorous. More and more vigorous. Not sneak around and try to take shortcuts. It's no such thing. Third one is enunciation. Okay? Enunciation, what's a Chinese character? She. Okay? And the next one is shame. Okay, fine. Enunciation here is he's teaching at the Hinayana level. At least think about it. You renounce your evil thoughts. That's the coarsest one. Okay? It applies to you. Don't worry about others. Look at your coarse thoughts. Okay? Your evil thoughts. Yeah? Evil meaning that, such as you self-serving, you say, as long as I get what I want, I don't care. Okay? If I hurt someone so that I can get what I want, it's okay. That's evil. I don't like someone, I will hurt them. That's evil. Okay? Attachments is a finer level where enunciation is that you're able to let go of the attachments because it's not good for you. What kind of attachments? You have to decide for yourself. Okay? And being unobstructed in every respect. That's too nebulous. All right? So, enunciation, what does it mean, enunciation? Is that in our temples, the way I train you, enunciation is when I come to you and said, you're being tested. Of this. I'm warning you. I'm being kind because I know that's your weakness. So, in other words, my message to you, because when you're at that level, my message to you is, are you willing to listen to me? Are you willing to let go of this? If not, not my fault. Is it clear? It's you. It's not you have to be responsible for your own actions. You can't blame me. 4, shame and remorse is 5th. Very important group here, a pair here. Shame and remorse. They always come in pairs. Shame is outside. Remorse is inside. Okay? Shame because I feel shame because I failed you. I'm not going to make excuses. I failed you. Okay? I'm not going to cover it up. I screwed up, I failed, Yes, I'm ashamed of that. I fall short. Okay? I could not deliver. I'm ashamed of that. I'm ashamed of my failure. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to make excuses. Remorse is that inside. Shame is I admit to you. Yes, I screwed up. I'm not going to hide it from you. I'm going to try to disguise it. If I know it's wrong, I will admit it. Because it's evil to hide it. Okay? You have no shame, meaning that you make excuses. Be careful when I get to you and I say, have you no shame? Boy, are you in trouble. I rarely use that. Okay. Number 5, remorse, is that inside, okay, you don't feel good about yourself. You tell yourself, I can be better than this. Okay? Unless you have remorse, you cannot be gooder. Is it clear? You have no remorse, you will never be gooder. Any questions? I want you as adults, look at your children, your nieces and nephews, and you see the ones who will have trouble, you will have trouble with, as the ones that have no remorse. They're extremely dangerous. Children, adults, same thing. They have no remorse inside. It's not about they confess it or whatever, okay? It's in their behavior. Yes, too.
Hello, Masters. Thank you. I want to ask this, how do we feel shame and remorse without falling in the trap of like being depression and beating ourselves up time over times?
You should feel shame and remorse. And because you have shame and remorse, your mental issues will aggravate it. So, what do you do when you aggravate it? Cross your legs until you're able, until it becomes more manageable. Okay? That's all you have right now.
Thank you, Master.
And you begin, and then eventually you address the problem, fix the problem, then there's no more shame, there's no more remorse for them to attack you. All right. The sixth wholesome dharma, goodness, absence of greed. Okay? Be careful of people who want more and more and more and more. That's greed. Even more of a good thing. Okay? Let me warn you again. I've been holding my tongue for a long time now. If you want more relics, you are greedy. You are not a good person. Anyone? Raise your hand. See? It doesn't apply to you. Okay? So Instead of being greedy, you should be content with what you have. Enjoy it. Enjoy what you have. That's all the conditions allow you to do. Enjoy it. We're not saying you should like abstain and just to make sure you're not greedy, you should give away. Wait. That's not a bad idea, actually, to give away your money to me. But besides that, okay, don't think it's the absence of greed. It means that you have to give away. Absence of greed means that you should enjoy according to the conditions. Okay, or don't sit there and want more and more. That's stupidity. That's super greed. Okay, in anything, including good things. Is there anything is not clear to you, people at DTT, at JMT, at GC, at GF? Huh? You know who I'm addressing, right? Seventh, absence of anger. Okay? Control your anger. There's no need to be angry. Angry is for inferior people. You lose your cool. What for? I lose your cool because I have no class. You don't have to lose your cool, okay? I remind you, if you're an emperor, you don't ever get angry. You don't ever lose your cool and yell at people and make a face. You simply say very gently, grab her, pull her out, and cut her head off very gently. You don't need to yell. You see that? You can hear much better when I speak softly and enunciate, yes? Take her out! Kill her! It's not cool. It's not cool at all. Take it out. Cut her head off. Okay? And record it. Post online. You hear? Okay. There's no need to be angry. To be angry is to lose your cool. You lose control yourself. Okay? And this is what I notice. People who are rich, they rarely lose their cool. They make you pay quietly. Okay? Eighth, non-harming. Non-harming is, I hope that you will program this in you, because this is important to me. It's one of the things that frightens me, is that I train you to build your samadhi, and you use it to hurt others who are weaker than you. That bothers me, I assure you. Okay? When I see it happen, your punishment is coming. I assure you. Believe. You pay. I will make you pay. It's going to be a lot worse for you than your victim. I assure you. You're going to be sorry. Because, let me remind you, I train you, I teach you to be stronger, to have tools and weapons, not for you to harm others. It's a big no-no for me. Yes, 3.
There's a YouTube question from Daniel7. Master, if the relationship between me and someone is not a good one, is it better to keep the interactions to a minimum to prevent a possible confrontation?
I don't know. It's too complicated. Okay, it sounds like it's a big mountain that needs to be addressed. So chip it away, one bit at a time. That's all. Okay, but these are the principles that are close to our heart, because what we do is based on the principles of goodness. You are improving very fast. Remember, because you're a good person. When you use the skills I give you to satisfy your animalistic desires, okay, I will punish you. And will no longer teach you. Okay? We do all this to do more good for our families, for our companies, for our societies, not to bring more harm. There's plenty of bad people out there. We don't want to make it worse for others. This is what Mahayana is about. For this person, it's like so many problems. I would go to see a therapist. And if you're really serious about fixing that relationship, both of you go see a therapist and chip it away, one affliction at a time. And if possible, meditate. Okay? You see, a therapist is skin deep. Chan will help you go deeper. All right, non-harming is very important to me. That's why my master taught about no fighting. To me, I'm changed it to non-harming, no harming, because I notice so many of you build up your skills so fast. Okay, and the longer you stay with me, the more you get better. It's natural. You follow the schedule, okay, and you do what you're supposed to do. You follow my instructions. That's what happen naturally. This is what keeps me up at night. That some of you have a tendency to be willing to harm others to get what you want. That is a big no-no for me. Okay? So please, when you're faced with a situation where in order to get what you want, you have to harm another person, back off. Give it up. It's for your own sake. Trust me. You cannot win. Trust me. If you harm, you cannot win. 9, light ease. 清安. That is the state that you experience before you enter samadhi. Okay, it's a state of light ease, qing'an. It's a natural state you will experience naturally before. And this is not to be confused with the state after you exit samadhi. I'm just being more details than I need to be. Jing An here is that you just feel light and so forth. Okay, that's a natural state. And then you will enter samadhi. After you exit samadhi, that is deeper level than Jing An light is. Is that clear? So don't confuse the two. Okay, so it's interesting here because it says this is a wholesome dharma. So your meditation, every time you meditate, and very often you will enter samadhi, like you come here in our temples, even like when you recite the Buddha's name, and you go, and recite circumambulation, fast recitation, silent recitation, even at those moments, or standing there and recite the ceremonies, you still are able to enter samadhi. And before you enter the samadhis, you go into this Jing An state, okay? And that is a wholesome dharma. Makes you a gooder person. So you practice, as I said, you're naturally becoming gooder and gooder and gooder. All right. 10th is non-laxness. Laxness here is to be casual and to be capricious, to self-indulge, seeking to be comfortable, and so forth. And so, what's the difference between that and relaxation? That's a difference. Yes, too.
Thank you, Masters. I think relaxation is kind of a state that will naturally happen, and then this laxness is something that you're seeking for to do. Like in self-indulgence is something you seek for to do. That's my guess. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you relax too much, it becomes lax. You lax. It's excessive relaxation, if you will. Okay? It's okay to relax. But if you relax too much, too long, then it becomes laxness. It varies from person to person. Okay? So, in summary, these are the 10 wholesome dharmas. Okay? It's kind of interesting for me, for you to think about this, because if you have these, if your state of mind is like this, then what are you doing? You bringing goodness to wherever you are. You creating goodness to wherever you are. You're being good, and you're becoming gooder. Isn't that cool? And that's blessings. That's being constructive. When others are seeking, they want more relics, more recognition, more spiritual powers, more fame, more disciples, and so forth. Okay? That's not wholesome. It's dirty. I see that in people. I disapprove. I don't say anything. Because you're hurting yourself, none of my business. You didn't ask me for my opinion. Until today, I don't have a chance to tell you. Got that? Questions? Comments? Okay, next 1393. He says, today there's some young people who come from Seattle, Washington. They're adults of the future. They're called young, but in the future become old. And so he's happy about that. By the way, okay, we don't discriminate between old and young, okay? But I feel that I keep on stressing this when I go to Korea, for example, and I see that in Vietnam as well, is that we monks and nuns tend to cater to older people because they have money. They can support us. And the young people are poor. They're struggling. And therefore, most of our efforts are on helping us pay for our overhead and our bills, our mortgages. So you can't blame the left home people. But if you keep on doing that, there's no more future for Buddhism. There's no more young people. And by the way, those young people eventually will inherit their parents' fortunes. Think about it, huh? I just read the statistics. They say in the US, you know what's the average of inheritance of a person? We have 300 million people, more than 300 million. What's the average inheritance? You divide all the money is going to be passed from that generation to the next generation, and by 300 million plus, you get something like $46,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Okay, so Sunims and monks and nuns, think of the future. Do not focus on old people only. They're going to die soon. Okay, so I'm glad to see young people, poor people, and so maybe we devise more and more programs to help young people better cope with the challenges and stresses of life and improve the mental health and well-being. Okay, hoping in the future when they have money and become old, that's your generation, and you'll be okay. I'm perfectly happy being poor. Okay? Actually, you'll be amazed. The young people, the reason that they stay away from us is because we are not speaking their language. We are, because of economic restrictions, we do programs that cost money, and these people cannot afford it. The young people cannot afford it. Yeah. And so it's a catch-22 issue for religion in general. The Vatican is in the red, losing money every year. They're not getting enough donations from their donors. But lucky for them, they have lots of assets. Okay? It's a problem for religious institutions. Yeah. And so, hopefully, I hope to figure out a way so that you can do your work in your lifetime without having to bear the pressure of money. I see it in Korea. Yeah. I'm done. I live poor. It doesn't bother me. But I leave you this temple here, and your guys will be fighting over it. And then the winner says, it's my temple now. I'm the boss. And then when you see the bill you have to pay every month for electricity, for water, you know, I fought for this. And now you begin to kiss up to the lay people. It's a terrible catch-22. One of the worst things you can do is you leave a temple to your disciples. That's what I found out. So, what do you want me to do? You take the money, $46,000, you take a temple. Never mind. Okay, he says you study hard, get a good education, in front of people, behind people, okay, you decide. He says, that's his message. My message to you, the young people, I have young people here, which is not the case. Young people here, one thing I want you to learn is again, gooder, okay, become gooder and gooder and gooder. You can't go wrong by becoming gooder. You gain. I assure you, that's wisdom. Number two, okay, the one thing that's lacking in today's, especially with the monks, lack of self-respect. 自重, 自重. My generation is natural. Okay, if you really respect yourself, okay, why would you, knowing full well you're stronger than another person, why would you take advantage of him or her? Don't you have any respect for yourself? Is that the behavior of someone who's stronger than others? More blessed than others? It's only because you lack self-respect. You are a cancer to society. You lack respect. Okay, that's why I want to stress to these young people. It's too late. Now, they become successful, become rich. These are the ones who pass on their fortune to the next generation, your generation now. But most of them lack respect, self-respect. Okay, and then he says about welcoming, so no one welcomed me, I don't know why he has to bring himself into the picture that no one welcomed me, but I'm going to welcome you anyway. It's kind of childish. You see, just because someone is not nice to me, I'm going to be nice to you and be nicer to you. I'm going to be nice to you, nicer to you, whether someone being nice or not nice to me is irrelevant. Okay, sometimes I don't understand the Chinese mentality. What am I missing? He says here, even though people never welcome me, I came to America, no one came out to me and gave me flowers and take photos of me and post on the internet, like masteryonghua. But it doesn't bother me. I will welcome you. It doesn't bother you. Then why should you have to bring it up? See, I'm very demanding. It's not a good use of my time to listen to you, talking about yourself, if it's useless to me. Next, 1396. 6 dharmas interactive with afflicted mind. 大烦恼, these are great afflictions. beware of such people. Number one, stupidity, laxness, laziness, lack of faith, torpor, and agitation. Those are great afflictions. Kind of interesting. Okay? Let's go through them. These are from a small vehicle, 75 dharmas, from 100 dharmas in Mahayana. Okay? And here we're talking about the nature of afflicted minds. What are they? Number one, stupid. Okay, masteryonghua is very clear. People, especially monks and nuns, who hope for me to train you. If you are afflicted, you are stupid. Don't blame others. Okay? Being afflicted is to be stupid. Don't look any further. If you realize you're afflicted, you should first realize that you're being stupid. Whose fault is it? Is it my fault? Is it her fault? Is it his fault? It's your fault. Because you choose to be stupid. Questions. It's so fundamental. I have a problem, I have very talented people, and they're trying to help, they're trying to teach others, and let's say train them or whatever. It's a senior try to train you young people, new people, and some of you, are not catching on quickly enough, are stupid, and therefore you say, why are you so stupid? I'm wasting my time. Oh, don't you appreciate what I'm doing for you? Then you being stupid. Any questions? Yes, 5.
네, 마스터, 가장 큰 번뇌를 보라고 하셨는데, 그 번뇌를 보고 뭘 하면 될지가 궁금해요. 그 번뇌를 내려놓는 건지, 내려놓으려면 어떻게 하면 되는 건지, 번뇌를 내려놨다고 한번 생각을 했어도 계속해서 똑같은 번뇌가 계속 나타나게 되면은 계속 그 번뇌를 보면 되는 건지 어떻게 해야 되는지 궁금합니다.
Master, you mentioned that we have to look at the biggest affliction. What should I do when I see the affliction? Should I let it go, or how can I let it go? If I let
You ask yourself, why am I afflicted? Look at that cause of your affliction and resolve it. Then you become less afflicted and therefore less stupid. When you have a big affliction that keeps on recurring, you're being stupid. And therefore, you need to fix it. The sooner, the better. And it's your fault, no one else's. Okay? And that's in general. We're talking for you cultivators, okay, you should recognize, this is masteryonghua point here at 1398. You should recognize that when you are afflicted, you're in a state of stupidity. It's no one else's fault. You're being stupid. Stop blaming me. Stop blaming her. Stop blaming him. You're being stupid. That's all. It's your fault. No one else's fault. That's all. Why do you have to be afflicted? Look at it. Why? What makes you afflicted? Okay? Because if you don't do that, you then be amongst the people who are so stupid that it's hopeless. There's these stupid people. They're afflicted. We teach them, look at your affliction. Look at what makes you so afflicted and fix that problem. You're afflicted because your husband fails to buy you some nice washer and dryers. And you have to keep on using this old washer and dryer. Okay? And it keeps on breaking down, and it's dirty, it has lint, and some of my washer and dryer has lint, so after I wash, I have to go use a lint brush and brush my clothes. Otherwise, my clothes has hair and lint everywhere. Okay? And so you need to fix the affliction, the cause of your affliction. If you don't, okay, then you are constantly being stupid. So you're afflicted. That's natural, okay? And if you ignore it, okay, it becomes so ingrained in you, now you become constantly stupid, constantly afflicted. Okay? Meaning that you don't listen anymore. People ask you, people talk to you, you fight them immediately. No, you're wrong. You don't understand me. You don't understand me at all. Okay? What does it sound like? They're blaming you for not understanding them. So the stupid level is permanent now. You can't get to them anymore. Can you see that? I'm describing to you two levels of stupidity. Okay? If you cultivate, if you follow instructions and you realize you're afflicted, okay? Hey, Republicans and go forth, pay attention. Okay? You're afflicted. You keep on blaming us Democrats for California problems. Okay? Look at your attachment. You too Republican. Okay? And therefore, fix that problem, become Democrat. It will go away. And you don't. Okay? Now your stupidity is constant. See that? Now it's no talking to you. You have to move to Canada. I know we joke a lot, but this is a lot more serious than you think. Because if I point out to you, you're afflicted here, and you refuse to fix your attachment that makes you so afflicted, it's very simple. You're afflicted, look at what attachment that makes you so afflicted. Okay? Cut off that attachment. You don't need any other reason except you being stupid. Okay? That's good enough for you to cut it off. I don't care. Give up your wife if necessary. Give away your son. Okay? Because if your son makes you stupid, give him away. Okay? And my point being that if you don't, this is what happened to ordinary people. They are afflicted, and they, instead of looking at their affliction and trying to resolve it, they blame others. Notice that pattern of behavior. They keep on blaming it's your fault, it's her fault, it's someone else's fault. They never look at themselves. Okay? That means that their level of stupidity is constant now. There's no talking to them anymore. Okay? Don't try to talk to them. It's hopeless. And I'm asking you, men, why do you marry such women? I'm serious. But in all fairness, many Republican women are very good. Okay. Any questions, comments? No? $13.99. I have a few more minutes. So lots of afflictions. The countless afflictions, but we're looking in only have to worry about the big ones, the big afflictions, the great afflictions. Okay, and don't worry about the small ones. Okay, if you can take care of the big afflictions, and the small ones are a lot easier to shed. Okay, and second affliction is laxness. And so laxness is that, it's like he says here, like a horse without a bridle, and it's impossible to control yourself. Okay. Third, why is it laxness? Laziness. Third one is laziness. Fix it. Okay, laziness. Thank you. Laziness is a great affliction. Laziness is slightly different from procrastination. Okay, procrastination, many of you procrastinate because it's not because you're lazy, it's because you have depression-related issues. Okay, and what happens for those people who procrastinate a lot is because they have depression issues, and it's not until they feel the pressure that's when they're able to concentrate. Because it's a depression attack. That's why they get paralyzed. They can't function. So until, let's say, the deadline is due, and that's when they're able to marshal their resources and get going. Okay, but laziness is that basically you are not serious about anything. Okay, and that's a big affliction. We don't have the problem, do we? You're lazy, then you can't cross your legs. Fourth one is lack of faith. Okay. It's a big problem for you. The lack of faith here is because what is not spelled out, they don't believe because they believe themselves more. than anyone else. That's why they don't believe. Okay? And that's a big affliction, especially if you meet with a great teacher like the Master Hsuan, whose sole purpose in life is to help you. And you don't believe that you don't believe him, meaning that you don't believe he's trying to help you. You missed the boat. Tough luck. We stop here today, everyone. Thank you so much.